Welcome back. In this second part of our bank reconciliation tutorial, we will move beyond the basics into real-life practical examples. You will learn how to identify and adjust for common differences such as unpresented checks, uncredited deposits, direct debits, direct credits, and errors. Each concept is explained step by step with worked example to help you understand how adjustments are made in the cash book and in the bank reconciliation statements. Without much ado, grab your writing material. Let's dive in. Practical example 1. Example 1. The following information was extracted from the book of Banco Jalo Limited for the month of January 2025. The cash book. This is the cash book as given. The cash book you have bank column only. You have the debit side denoted by plus, that is the increase side, and the credit side denoted by minus, that is the decrease side. This minus and plus sign are for just educational purpose. Now you have the date normal as should be in the cash book. You have the amount, then the date again in the credit side, and the amount. The balance brought down 14,235, and all transaction on the debit side, and there are some transaction also on the credit side. In the end, we have a balance brought down of 9,745. 9,745 as marked now. That is the balance brought down. That is total balance remaining after all payments in the month of January. Now you are also given the bank statements of Banco Jalo, Skyward Bank PLC, Banco Jalo statement of accounts for the month of January 2025. All things being equal, the balance of the cash book supposed to be the exact balance of the bank statements. But as we can see in the bank statement, the balance of the bank statement is 11,658 then 0.5. It did not agree with balance of the cash book. That means there are reasons why there is disagreement, and that the reason for disagreement is what we are going to look for in this question. You see, in the the bank statement also have the debit side, which is this, and transactions that are under the column of the debit side, which are this. There are some transactions under the debit side, which are this transaction. And also we have it has the debit column, the credit column. The bank statement has the debit column, and some transactions are there also. Example, the cash sales is on the credit column. Check on the 13 credit column. All this one that I'm highlighting is under the credit column of the bank statement, and that is the balances. Now the question says, from the above cash book and bank statement for the month of January 2025, prepare the adjusted cash book, 2. Prepare the bank reconciliation statement as at January 31st, 2025. Now, let us attempt to solve this question. Now, the balance of the cash book did not agree with the balance of the bank statements. And some of the reasons that could cause this disagreement are: 1. Uncredited checks. Yes, uncredited check can cause this disagreement. One of them is uncredited check, can cause this agreement. Another one, that is number 2, is unpresented check. Unpresented check can cause this disagreement. Then direct debit can also cause this. Direct credit can cause it, and direct debit can also cause it. If there's error in the cash book or error in the bank, can also cause it. And also, if there is dishonored check can also cause this error, this difference. And another thing that might cause this difference is what the standing order. If there's a standing order given by the bank, it can cause the difference. So we are going to go back to that question and try to see whether there is any uncredited check or unpresented check, or there is direct credit, or there is direct debit, or there is any error committed in the cash book, or any error committed by the bank. Is there any dishonored check? Are there standing order? That is the first thing we will do. So the first thing we are going to look at is the uncredited checks, if there are any. Let's go. Now, in our tutorial, in our part 1 tutorial of bank reconciliation, it was highlighted that all transactions in the debit side of the cash book are traceable on the credit side of the bank statement. That is to say, the debit side of the cash book is the increase side, and so the increase side of the cash book is all the transaction in the increase side of the cash book is traceable to all the transaction in the increase side of the bank statement. The increase side of the bank statement is the credit side, so that every transaction that are in the debit side of the cash book, all things being equal, are supposed to be found on the credit column of the bank statement. And if there's any transaction on the debit side of the cash book and is missing on the credit side of the bank statement, that transaction is an unpresented check. That check is unpresented check. So let us try to find out whether there is any transaction on the debit side of the cash book that is missing on the credit side of the bank statement. Now let's go. This is the balance brought down. That is balance brought down from previous months to January 1st, and so it's supposed to be on the credit balance in the bank statement, and that one is found here. It's on the credit balance. That is the balance brought forward. It's neither in the debit side or credit side, so it is balance brought forward, so it is shown as a balance. Now the next transaction in the debit side of the cash book is cash sales. That cash stroke S means cash sales, and the cash sales, which is 2,200 on the 2nd of January. Let us go and trace it whether we'll be able to get it in the credit side of the bank statement. Yes, it's there. Cash sales, which is 2,200. Now let us take the next transaction is baby. Check that is lodged by baby is 1,260. 1,260. Let us also locate it at the credit side. Yes, the check is there on the 13th. It was credited. It is 1,260. 1,260. Then let us take a look at the next one, the one following 1,260. That one is on the 15th. That is due. Due is 8,450. Due 8,450. Let us go and check the bank statement by the credit side whether we will see due. Yes, on the 16th, due is there on the credit side, 8,450. Then let us go again. After due, we have a day. On the 20th, there is a day, and the amount is 4,140. So let us go and check whether a day is found on the credit side of the bank statement. It was on the 20th, on the 16th, on the 22th. There is no a day, there's no 4,140, and up to 28, up to 30, there's no a day, and there's no 4,140. So a day is 4,140 is the first uncredited check. The first uncredited check, and we mark it. First uncredited check is a day in that question. So we move ahead. On the 22, there was cash sales. 22, there was cash sales of 5,250. Let us go and check whether that cash sales is there. Cash sales 22, 5,250. So let us proceed. The next transaction is Nedu. Nedu on the 28th is 3,020. So let us go and check Nedu whether it's there, whether the check has been credited. Nedu, that's check on the 28th. There's a check credited of the exact amount on the 28th. So Nedu is there. Now the last and not the least transaction in that place is transaction by John. And that transaction, that check lodged by John is 2,880. 2,880. Let us go and check whether it has been credited. No, there's no 2,880 from the 29th, on the 30th, and even no 2,880. So John 2,880 is the second uncredited check. So we mark it as that. So John, which is that lodged a check on the 31st, the check has not been credited. So we mark it as what? One of what? The uncredited check. Mark it as such. I mean John, 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 we mark it as the second uncredited check. So now in this question we have two uncredited check. The check by a day, which is 4140, that had been lodged, but it has not been credited. It is not found in the credit side of the bank statement. That means it has not been credited. On the 31st also, a check was issued and launched into the bank by John, and it was not found on the credit side of the bank statement. That means it has not been credited. As such, the two uncredited checks in this question are Ade 4140 and John 2880. Now we are going to locate the unpresented check. Now it was also highlighted that all entry in or the credit entry in the cash book are traceable to the debit entry in the bank statement or the debit column of the bank statement. So every transaction or check issue that is found on the credit side of the cash book, all things being equal, is supposed to have been presented and deducted on the debit side of the bank statement. Any of these checks that have been paid on the credit side of the cash book and we can't locate them or they are missing on the debit side of the bank statement are unpresented check. So let us try to locate them. Now, the first one there is Oko. Oko is on the third, and let us go to the debit side of the bank statement whether we can locate Oko or any check. And Oko is 2,620. 2,620. That is there. Then Hotel, another check issued by Mr. Hotel, 3,870. Let us try to locate it whether it's there. Hotel, what is the date? The date is on the night. Then on the night, no check was debited. On the 13th, no check of that amount debited. So that should be the first unpresented check. It has been issued, but it has not been presented to the bank. So this one, that is Hotel, which is 3,870, is the first unpresented check. Yeah. Then let us take the next transaction, which is Vent. And Vent was paid 6,750 on the 13th. Let us go to that debit side. Vent is not found. What is it? It is Vent is 6,750. 6,750 is not found at all. So Vent is one of the unpresented check. It's not found there. Vent is one of the unpresented check, and we mark it as such. Vent is one of the unpresented check, so we mark it. Vent is one of the unpresented check. That is item 13. Vent. Vent is one of the unpresented check. So we mark it like that. Good. We have now gotten up to 2 unpresented check. Now let us go. On the 22, there was wages. There was wages on the 22, and the wages was 12,000. Let us go and check whether there is any debit item there. Yes, 12,000. Wages is there, 12,000. Let's proceed also. All after 12,000, you have will. 28 January, 3,500. Is will there? Yes, 28 January, 3,500. Then the next one is what? Is cask. Cask is 2,950. Is there any transaction on the 29th? On the debit side, 2,950. No. So gas is likely or is one of the unpresented check. Gas is one of the unpresented check, and we mark it as such. That is to say that in this question we have gotten 3 unpresented check. We've gotten 3 unpresented check. The first one is hotel 3,870, and the second one vents, which is 6,750, and the third one cars, which is 2,950. Now let's go ahead. Now the next thing we are going to look for are they uncredited, direct debit credits. Are they direct credits? How will you know direct credit? You can locate direct credit by comparing the credit side of the bank balance to the debit side of the cash book. Any item that is present in the bank column and is not present in the in the credit side of the bank column and is not present in the debit side of the cash book is a direct credit. In this question, every other item that's in the credit side of the bank statement are in the bank column of the debit side of the bank column, of the cash book, except one. The only item that is found on the credit side of the bank column and is not found on the credit side of the bank column and is not found on the debit side of the cash book is this item. That is what? Insurance premium. Insurance premium on the 28th is an item of the credit column of the bank statement, but it's not found on the debit side of the cash book. Let us go and see whether it is there. Insurance premium of what? Of 28. Insurance premium of 28. No, it's not there. It is 2,500. In fact, there's no 2,500 from 22, 28, and 35. So that item, insurance premium, which is an item on the credit side of the bank statement and missing on the debit side of the cash book, is a direct word credit. So we mark it as a direct credit here. So we have one direct credit. We have one direct credit, which is what? Insurance what? Premium. And that is all we have. Then let us try to locate the whether there is any direct debits. Now, direct debits, you locate direct debits by comparing the credit side of the cash book to the debit side of the bank statement. Any item found on the debit side of the bank statement and are missing on the credit side of the cash book are all direct words debits. Let's go. Now, in this question, you find that bank charges, that is item 29 here on the debit side of the bank statement. You find bank charges 26, and commission on turnover, that is 30, is 110. Then VAT is 5.5. That is to say, bank charges 26, commission on turnover is 110, then VAT on commission of turnover is 5.5. All these items are not in the debit, the credit side of the cash book. You can see that none of these one are in the debit side of the cash book. You do not see the cost commission on turnover. You did not see bank charge. We did not see VAT on commission on turnover. So all these items that are not found on the debit side of the credit side of the cash book and are present on the debit side of the bank statement are direct towards debits. So we have gotten how many direct debit now? We have gotten about 3 direct debits, and they are one, bank charges, Then another one is commission on turnover, and the next one is what is called VAT on commission of turnover. So we have gotten 3. Now there is what? Return check. We can discover now that there's one return check. When we talk about return check on the 25th, on the 28th, we have 3,020. That is return check. What we mean by return check is what? Dishonor check. So on this note, we'll go back now and start to get the problem solved. Now we have gotten what? The uncredited checks. We have gotten what? We have gotten 2 uncredited check, 3 unpresented check, 1 direct credit, 3 direct debit, and uncredited, and I'm dishonor check. So let us go. The only thing that we did not find here is we did not find what? Error. There's no error in this question. We have gotten uncredited check, we have gotten unpresented check, the direct credit, direct debit, and dishonor check, and there's what? A standing what? Order. Now, what we have just explained before is what this note is explaining. How did we get the uncredited check? That is number 1. The 2 uncredited check is Ade 4140 and John 2880, and the total is 7,020. Then the direct credit, how we got it is what is explained here, and the direct credit there is what? Insurance premium. Then the unpresented check, this note is explaining how we got the unpresented check, and the 3 unpresented check there is are 6 hotel, vet, and gas, and the total is what? 13,570. The next one is direct debit. The direct debit we got then there is 6 bank charge, cost of turnover, commission on turnover, and VAT on commission of turnover. And we have standing order, we have dishonor check. The summary of what we have just gotten now is unpresented check 7,020, unpresented check 13,570, direct credit 2,500, then direct debit, then dishonor check, and what? Standing order. Now let us go and see how we can prepare the bank reconciliation statement. That the bank reconciliation statement has only 2 segments: the adjusted cash book and the reconciliation section. So let's go. Now let's go. Now we know that what we are going to do next is the adjusted cash book. What are we going to adjust? We are going to adjust only the errors that affect the cash book, and any error that did not affect the cash book will not be adjusted here. So the first thing to do is to put up our T account in form of T account and see the adjusted cash book. And the first thing that we have there is the balance brought down. Balance brought down. So solution, let's go. So Bakujalo Limited adjusted cash book. Adjusted cash book. Yes. As at January 31st, 2025. Now we get our T account ready, and of course the unit of account, which is in Naira, must be properly written down. Yes, the other side also must be properly Now, the first thing we are going to take a look is the balance brought down from the cash book provided in the question. And the balance brought down from the cash book provided in the question is 9,745. Now, there is direct credit in the question. Direct credit, which is insurance premium, was 2,500, and that is direct credit paid into the bank. Direct credit is 2,500. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is the bank charges, which are the debit entry, direct debit. All direct debit entry are to appear in the credit side of what the adjusted cash book. And the first one is bank charges, which is 26. The second one is cost commission on turnover, which is 110. That COT is commission on turnover. And the next one is VAT on commission on turnover, which is what? 5.5. Now, at this point, we are going to take the sum of the debit side, which is 9,745 plus 2,500, and that one will give you 12,250. 12,250 minus all the item on the debit side, we now have balance of the insurance premium, and the dishonored check, the insurance premium that was paid, and the dishonored check item of the debit side. Then we take the total, and we have the balance as 5,108.1, and the total is 12,250. After taking the total, we minus everything in the debit side. We now have 12,245, and we balance off and bring down the balance carried down as balance brought down. That means our adjusted cash book balance is 5,180.50. That is the adjusted cash book balance. By this, we have completed the first segment of the bank reconciliation. Now, we are going to the second segment of the bank's reconciliation, where we are going to take into cognizance the unpresented check, uncredited check, unpresented check, and to do the actual reconciliation. Now, let's go. Now, we're going to take a look at the reconciliation segment. What we are going to reconcile, first of all, we must bring out the reconciliation figure. Since we are beginning this reconciliation from the adjusted cash book, then we are going to bring down the balance brought down in the question from the bank statement, which is going to be the reconciliation figure. We must bring this first. So we are beginning from the adjusted cash book balance. As we are beginning from the adjusted cash book balance, we must first of all bring down the bank balance as given in the question. And that bank balance we are bringing out, balance from a bank reconciliation statement, we first of all bring out the bank balance. That bank balance is the reconciling figure, the figure that we are going to reconcile, the figure that we are going to arrive at after we have done our reconciliation. So that is why we say reconciling bank balance is 11,658.50. That is the figure we are going to arrive at when we do our reconciliation. And in this case, our reconciliation, we are beginning our reconciliation from the adjusted cash book. So it's our adjusted cash book balance. This first one here, 5,108. This is the balance we arrive at our adjusted cash book. Then we say add unpresented check. When we add unpresented check, we have the unpresented check there is 13,570. Then less uncredited check. The uncredited check in our assignment, as I have just done, is 7020. And by the time you add 5,108.50 plus 13,570 and less 7,020, you will arrive at the same figure as the balance given in the bank statement. So by this, we say we have reconciled the cash book with the cash book balance with the bank balance. We have reconciled the cash book balance with the bank balance. That is what we have just done. Are there any question? If there's no question, I think we don't want to make this tutorial so bulky. So we on this note end this tutorial. On this note, we come to the end of part 2 of bank reconciliation. In our next tutorial, we will solve some professional examination questions. Should there be any question, contribution, or suggestion, hit us in the comment section. Hit the comment section and we will not hesitate to get back to you. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share our channel. Goodbye for now. God bless you.